Amigos, Brad Evans here with another edition of the Fantasy Football Free Agent Frenzy. Looking at some high commodities that you can maybe add and hopefully benefit from ahead of the action in Week 7. Again, we're always assuming under 60% rostered right now in Yahoo leagues and $100 fab budget. So let's look at the dudes that just missed the cut on the countdown this week. And my God, is the injury imp running amok right now in fantasy land. So it's a laundry list, and I apologize. I'm going to race through these guys, all worth between $1 and $5 in 12-team and deeper formats. A pair of Johnsons, not exactly, flashing the eggplant emojis for either one, but we'll see about Mike Evans if whether or not he returns the action. We know that Chris Godwin's out with a fibula, and it's looking doubtful that Emeka Egbuka is going to be able to fight through a hamstring strain suffered last week. So Baker Mayfield's got to complete passes to somebody. I would throw also Cade Otton into this mix in shallower formats, whether it's Tez Johnson, Cameron Johnson, the product of Barton College, wherever the hell that is, or Cade Otton. I think all worth between $1 to $5 for wide receiver and tight end needy teams that are out there. Speaking of tight end needy teams, Michael Mayer of Viva Las Vegas. Brock Bowers probably not going to return with a bye week on the immediate horizon, so probably going to continue to rest that nagging knee injury. Mayer found the end zone last week. Probably worth around the high end of the scale, $4 to $5 if you need that upgrade among plus-size targets. Taking on Kansas City this week. Next up, let's kick in gear with Tyler Algier. He shifted in a high gear on his first carry of the game on Monday night, going for a 19-yard touchdown. If you need running back depth, he's only like 35% rostered right now in Yahoo leagues. I'm not suggesting he's going to go nuts against San Francisco under the primetime lights this week. But again, nice depth add with Bye getting on the immediate horizon in week 8. Assuming he is out off that week, I don't have the bye weeks in front of me. I would plug and play him for bye week assistance at some point this season in the flex position. Josh Reynolds of the Jets. They're woeful. They're craptastic. My brain is permanently stained at what I had to witness between them and the Broncos across the pond. Hey, England, if you want to invade the U.S. again, I understand. Somebody's got to catch the damn ball in that offense. Mason Taylor at rope in as well. If you need some tight end assistance, both have some flex appeal in 12-team and deeper leagues, as this week the Jets take on the Carolina Panthers, who are outside the top 20 and drop back EPA defense. Remember, no Garrett Wilson. I'm going to be out the next couple of weeks at least with a hyperextended knee. Next up, Puka Nacua. We don't know if he's going to play, battling through an ankle injury. So Tutu Atwell and Jordan Whittington of the LA Rams could be worth a couple of bucks off of waivers. Whittington more the possession guy underneath. Atwell, the big play receiver. Look at the Rammies this week taking on Duval and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Not an exciting matchup. Jaguars have been pretty legit defensively this season. But again, the uptick in opportunity suggests some flexy sexy appeal, again, in those challenging formats. And last and certainly not least on the list, Kendrick Bourne, still under 40% rostered right now in Yahoo leagues. A spike over the century mark yet again. Juwan Jennings fighting through crack ribs amongst a myriad other setbacks physically that he is dealing with. Ricky Pearsall and that knee injury, we don't know if he's going to be able to suit up as well. We'll see if George Kittle is back this week. So Bourne could be in another lead role. Look at the matchup this week, taking on the ATL, the number 6, and drop back EPA defense, but a decent WR3 or flex option in shallower formats because these should be long gone in 12-team and deeper leagues. There you go. Let's go ahead and get after it with this week's countdown of the Fantasy Football Free Agent Frenzy. Numero 5 to start off the counting down this week. Let's go back to shiver me timbers, the Buccaneers, and go with Sterling Shepard. Only 5% rostered. I think it's worth 5 to 10 buckaroos in fab cash. I'm going to go overboard. Again, because we just don't know the status of Mike Evans. Honestly, we don't know the status completely yet of Emeka Egbuka. I love the matchup taking on Detroit as the Lions are going to be without Brian Branch through that 1-game suspension for idiotically throwing fisticuffs at the end of the game last week. But I will say this about Shepard. He's dirty work underneath, rarely gets that deep ball opportunity, but Baker Mayfield trusts him as a possession receiver. So given that trust, and faith in that wide, maybe like 5-6 catches, 50 to 60 yards, possibly, though I think it's a bit of a Hail Mary Chuck, a touchdown. If he gets double digits and say full point PPR leagues, I think he'll take that money and absolutely run. Again, don't go wild and crazy, kids, on the spending and smashing the old piggy bank, but we're 5 to 10 buckaroos, I believe, in Fab Cash. Numero quattro on this week's Frenzy Countdown. I say wham and bam at home with Mr. Knight. Zonovan Knight, as his family calls him probably, of the Arizona Cardinals. I'm going to go with a rusher at only 12% rostered, 5 to 10 bucks though on him overall. You look at the next 3 games, get Green Bay, number 18, and rush EPA defense. Not too bad of a matchup there. Then the bye week, and that could change some things. We'll have to see the status of Trey Benson. Then after that, a mouth-watering matchup against the Dallas Cowboys. How about them Cowboys? Yeah, you're getting punished every week. No matter if it's through the air or on the ground. They're number 26 in rush EPAD. And then at Seattle, very difficult matchup there as the Hawks flying high at number 3 in rush EPA defense. Knight looks like he is going to be the primary short yardage and goal line back in this Gannon offense. So when they're knocking the door splashing 6, he's going to get the ball to the belly like he did last week. Had over 30 yards on 11 carries and that rushing touchdown. Also raised the floor with 2 receptions for 20, only 2.36 yak per attempt, but forced 3 missed tackles. Again, probably the high side of the range of the 5 to 10 there. But if you're running back or depth needy, Bam Knight is somebody worth considering full shizzle in 12-team and deeper leagues. Numero 3 on this week's Frenzy Countdown. Smack that booty, baby. Yeah, I'm shaking my derriere for the LSU Tigers prospect and product, a guy that absolutely lit up the scoreboard and a homecoming of sorts last season in Nolans. 5 targets, 5 receptions for 93 yards and a pair of touchdowns. He's been one of the league leaders in ADOT. He's number 8 in that category, number 2 in yards per target. He's averaging 16.7 yards per catch. Because the big playability, he's going to be a bit of a roller coaster ride. But, man, Drake May has been absolutely dealing, and he's got supreme trust and booty down the field. And he look as well the next 3 matchups, not too shabby. Now, the third one is one you might want to stay away from. But the first one upcoming this week at Tennessee, a lot of wide receiver 3 appeal there as the Titans number 25 in drop back EPA defense. They fall with Cleveland, their weak point and spot on defenses on the back end, number 22 in pass EPAD, then the ATL, again, top 6 in drop back EPAD, but still booty will rise to the occasion every once in a while. A decent bench player, and again, when the matchup needs to be maximized, I suggest plugging him in and playing him at WR3 and flex leagues as well. For those challenging formats that are out there. So 5 to 10 buckaroos, I think, is worth the spend. You know what's also worth the spend? Go to betalytics.com right now, you jackals, and sign up for promo code JUICE. That's promo code JUICE for 25% off. Some of the best projections in the business. If you're a fantasy football player, if you're a player props enthusiast like this guy right here, you play standard sides and totals. Make sure you check out Rachel Krychak's sophisticated algorithm that she's updating throughout the week and across sports. It's more just the NFL, college football, Major League Baseball. I hear as well there's going to be some college basketball a little bit later on, the NBA. If you're into that market, the NHL, which is Rachel's bread and butter, get it all at betalytics.com and go to the website and sign up using promo code JUICE for 25% off today. Numero 2 on the Frenzy Countdown ahead of week 7. Harold Fannin Jr. of the Cleveland Browns at tight end, only 28% rostered. And I would spend the full 10 on this range, maybe even go a little bit higher, upwards of, say, $15 if you are tight end needy. We don't know the status of David Njoku, who exited the game early last week with a knee setback. Harold Fannin could be the main man in this offense moving forward. And you got to love the immediate matchup. It's really the mother of all matchups facing the downtrodden Miami Dolphins. Those fighting flippers not exactly getting it done defensively. Let me give you the case in point. They're number 31 in drop back EPA defense, and he follows at New England, number 22 in drop back EPA defense. Then the bye, then against the Jets, who are number 30 in drop back EPAD. So if Njoku is sidelined for a significant period of time, Fannin could be the main man. Even if Njoku's on the field, these guys are working in synchronicity and concert together. As Dylan Gabriel's just throwing a lot of nickel and dimer action underneath to his plus size options. I look at Fannin, 5.6 targets per game. He's number 11 in air yards among all plus size targets, and a 102.3 passer rating when targeted, coming off that 10 target, 7 catch, 81-yard game in week 6. I think he's definitely worth the high end, around $10 of a spend in a 12-team format. And of course, numero uno on the fade 5 or fantasy football free agency edition ahead of week 7. I like a lot of F words, apparently, especially the special one. Kamani Vidal. Talked about him last week. I featured him on the countdown last week, and I said, Hassan Haskins, I wasn't buying that he was going to be the primary guy. Now, I didn't at all anticipate Kamani Vidal to go out and ring the bell by any stretch of the imagination, as he did last week for 18 carries, over 120 yards, and 3 receptions for 14, a receiving touchdown. But it looks like he is going to be at least the heavy side of the RBBC moving forward. So I think he's going to be worth $25 to $30 of that $100 fat budget if you need that running back assistance or that upgrade, filling some holes. Everybody's filling holes right now. So he's definitely some spackle that could be applied. You look at the next 3 games, ain't too shabby. Indianapolis, number 15 in rush EPA defense, following with a matchup against Minnesota at number 25 in that category. Then at Tennessee, number 24 in rush EPAD. We know Omarion Hampton's going to miss at least the next few weeks. So Vidal, I think, is here to stay in the RB2 class in 12-team leagues. So if you missed the advice that I gave out about him last week, still only 34% rostered. So yeah, I'm pointing the finger at you. Shallow leaguers, definitely consider his services. We're going to have to slap that wallet and spend some of that Venmo cash if you want to acquire him on your roster this week. All right, friendly reminder, folks, before I get out of here, sign up for a free account right now. I got jackals at my website, thegamingjuice.com. I always have my always free transparent spreadsheet that lives there. Nate Lundy's NHL picks also live there. All of my fantasy football rankings ahead of week 7 are live. And let it simmer, folks. There might be a couple of names that I missed. Trying to update the software, so many moving parts, and guys, I will adjust based on the news that trickles out this week. So constantly updating those ranks. So go back and feed from that well on my site, thegamingjuice.com. You can read my fantasy flames at quarterback and running back already live. I'll have wide receiver and tight end available a little bit later on this week, along with my top props piece, along with my prime time props. I will drop ahead of Thursday Night Football in the matchup between the Steelers and Bengals. I can watch my radio show every single night called BetMGM tonight from 7 to 11 p.m. Eastern time. It streams for free on thegamingjuice.com. And ask me a question as well. Click Ask Brad and fire away. Get it all. I don't charge you a penny. Tell your friends at thegamingjuice.com. Click, converse, and cash. ... Maybe. All right, I'm going to exit stage left. Good luck in trying to shift around your waiver wire priorities. Lots of guys to choose from. Don't particularly overspend unless it's on Kamani. Outside of that, best of luck to all of you in week 7. Go out there and get that dub. Team Huevos.